Um, it really, if one is to preserve the grants, and we are extraordinarily appreciative of the community grants, the Northwest Development and so forth, and the EC grants, the shovel needs to be in the ground here in the next, 60 days or so?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
And we would intend to follow that, and I think you'll see the beginning of a great big swimming pool being dug out in Stanley Park here relatively soon. We are fully supportive of the Stanley Park development plan and of the building of a facility that we hope will be the greatest facility in this sport. And one of the reasons for that is that Tom and I operate some of the most successful buildings in the world, independent of the sports teams. And we do work hard on the design, the development, and making sure the quality of the fan experience is unparalleled. Because that's really what this is all about. If the naming rights are worth one great player a year in transfer spending, we will certainly look at that as a serious option. This club is not far from being the greatest club in the world. And we spent a wonderful, wonderful better part of an hour with Rafa today, and he's given us a very frank assessment. And he is very proud of the players that are here now. We're not very far from being truly a dominant type side. And if the naming rights, which is a new revenue stream, is something that Rick feels is important to the club's future, then we will certainly look at that.
We are making plans to move forward with the stadium as quickly as we can. We need all the revenues we could possibly find to compete with Manchester and Chelsea and others. So one of the things we'll work with Rick is to find out how to maximize our ability to be competitive.
You know, it was ascribed to me, so let me answer that if I may, Tom. You know, let me look all of you in the eye. I don't know where stories get started. Obviously, someone said something to someone who wrote the story first, and then others picked up on it and wrote it. And that story was transferred time and again as if it was fact. In fact, I read this morning, again, that I had changed my mind. Well, I just want to look everybody in the eye, and anyone from the management of Everton. If anyone from Everton has ever seen George Gillette before, if anyone from Everton has ever talked to George Gillette, please let me know, because it was my identical evil twin. We have not had any conversations with anyone from Everton. We have not engaged anyone to act as an intermediary. I want to be really clear. There was never any way that we tried to communicate this with Everton. And anyone who says that they talked, have them come talk to me, because that conversation did not take place. Let me say it secondly. The first time I met Rick Perry, I asked the question about crown chair. I did. And Rick looked at me and he said, George, let me make something very clear. If that question is ever asked again of me, in any way seriously, you have my resignation. And then someone very close to the club the other day told me that if we ever proposed that idea again, it was the surest way in the world for me to be lynched. And I don't want to be lynched. So there was nothing to the story in the beginning. There is nothing to the story now. It does not make sense based on everything we know, both about the physical aspects and about the rivalry between the two teams. We have huge regard for Everton. It's a wonderful team, and its heritage ties back to the Moores family so closely, and so there's no tension at Tom's or my level relative to Everton. So this is not based on any friction or animosity toward Everton. We have huge regard, and we can't wait to be at the next game when we play, which I think will be next season. Another derby, I believe you call it. So we look forward to that, and we look forward to having some fun on a local rivalry basis. But it's not going to be on a single pitch.